Today I'm going to show you another way to make a sewing template, only this time without needing a silicone mold and that expense or that time involved. What you will need is a glue gun. This is a Surebonder glue gun, and Surebonder white or regular hot melt glue, full size. You will need some kind of a board, like a cutting board or a cookie sheet, and some aluminum foil and a magic marker. You'll also need a cardboard template of your actual template that you're going to make with glue. Now, there are commercial silicone molds available in different shapes that you can use for quilt templates. I have a star. These are made of glue, and these were made with a commercial 4-inch star mold I found on Amazon. And they're easy to make, they're inexpensive to make, and you have a permanent template to move from square to square on your quilt. I want to do a similar thing for another face mask template that is a hand-sewn surgeon style template, and it's actually too large of a template to fit in the frying pan, the Teflon pan that I used for the silicone mold face mask template. So as I said, glue gun, glue, foil, a board, and a marker in order to make a glue template. This is a smaller roughly drawn template I want to make. It's kind of an egg shape, and before you start the bigger project, and you want to spray the foil with Pam or another brand vegetable spray, a cooking spray. Okay, so here is my cutting board. I have a piece of foil on a cutting board. Here is my cardboard template, and this is what I've used prior to this. It's just a piece of cardboard cut out, and I have now traced it on the foil. And you want to keep the foil as flat as possible, because all of this, these wrinkles will actually show up on the glue. So this is so simple. The next step, and this is quite large, it's 8 1/4 or 8 3/4 by 7 inches. And it's going to take quite a bit of glue, which I happen to have. That's a package of 50 sticks of glue. The other face mask was about this big and took between 15 and like 18 sticks of glue overall. This is going to take maybe even close to double of that. So you're going to need a package of glue. If you're going to make any one item all the time, it's worth doing this way. But let me put the cardboard down and show you how you're going to do this. The important part to be careful with is going to be just the edges. And once you get going, filling it in is much, much easier. I have the stand on this, but sometimes it's easier to use one without a stand. So let's go over here on the edge, because the stand's in the way. And you're very simply going to just go on your area. My hand is a little shaky, so I'm going to stay inside the line for a moment. And the first thing you do are the outlines. And as you saw in those star templates, you want a clean edge on the outer edge of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do the outline and then show you what that looks like. Now, what I had done, the foil was shifting a little bit, so I went ahead and trimmed this and taped it down in place a little better. I went around the edges, as you can see, And now I'm basically working from one side or one edge up this way to fill it in. Now don't be too concerned. You can see this is a little wavy. Don't be too concerned if it's not perfect at the beginning. The wonderful thing about hot melt glue is that a simple craft knife, like a snap-off craft knife, will trim this edge to be a straight edge if you need it to be, or you can, after you're done, fill in little gaps with a little spot of glue. It's a very easy way to make a template, and depending on how fast you work, this was all in stripes back and forth, and because it takes a few minutes to cool, it all does kind of go together, and it won't stick to the foil when you're all done. In fact, I could probably pull it up right now if I wanted to. So I'm going to continue making this, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, here it is all filled in. The rectangle is filled in. It hasn't completely smoothed out together. This is the one spot that's still cooling. And you can see some lumps. The main point here is to have the size that you need, or the shape. Like, if obviously a duck, a star, a special triangle for a special quilt. Those would mainly be smaller. This is it's going to be a big template. Now, this will also cut fairly easily with scissors, if you want to trim the edges with scissors. So I'm going to let this cool. I've gone around the border twice, and the only thing I need to do is, as it completely cools, I'll see exactly where the bumps are, or the unevenness, or whatever, and I just keep filling it in depending on how thick I want it. So far, and it's 8 3/4 by 7, it's taken 13 sticks of glue, and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So at this point, you make it as thick or as thin as you want, as even as you want. If I were to put foil around the edges, or tape the foil in place, I could probably put the whole thing on a cookie sheet, and the foil on the edges would keep it from running away, but it might even out the layer a little bit. But you can do that with a glue gun. So, like I said, the easiest way to make a template, a special quilt template, this is another size I wouldn't be able to buy. I've looked. I mean, and when you can't find them, it's easier to make them. And this is the easiest way to make a specialty template for quilting or sewing. On the template made out of glue, I had a couple of choices. I could have wrapped up the foil around the edges and just put it in the oven and let the whole thing squish down a little bit, put it in the oven for like 250, just for a few minutes, a couple of minutes, and get it to squish down. But you know, every time we buy a template at a sewing store, they're all acrylic, solid, plastic, boring. So I had to fix something else with gold glue, and I decided to just make this an abstract. And I think you can see the whole thing there. Now, it is thinner than the other face mask template, flexible, but a perfectly usable fabric template for cutting out a face mask that I have a pattern for. And very simple to do. And like, this can become like a painting. I have other colored glues here. I can put a big red something up here and pink and blue this way, and lean it up in your room, your sewing room, and it's a painting and a template, and so easy to make out of hot melt glue.